Conversion of inorganic carbon dioxide into the organic glucose molecule is known as the fixation of the carbon dioxide. This fixation takes place in the presence of sunlight and in the presence of chlorophyll. And this reaction is known as the photosynthesis. Photosynthesis takes place in the two stages. First stage is the light reaction and the second stage is the dark reaction. We go for the light reaction. Light reaction is the only reaction in which chlorophyll involves. Chlorophyll is a part of the photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. Photosystem 1 and 2 are the clusters of the organic compounds. In these clusters, chlorophyll A lies at the center and is surrounded by the other pigments. These other pigments are known as the accessory pigments. Example for accessory pigments are carotenoids and xanthophylls. Chlorophyll A is called as the reaction center and the other pigments are called the accessory pigments or antenna or light harvesting center. These accessory pigments absorb energy from the sunlight and pass this energy onto the reaction center, that is the chlorophyll A. And the electrons from the chlorophyll A exit and may leave the chlorophyll A molecule. These released electrons may be absorbed by the primary electron acceptors. Photosystem 1 and photosystem 2 involve in the phosphorylation reaction. The reaction in which inorganic phosphate is joined to ADP to ATP is known as the phosphorylation reaction. Phosphorylation is of two types, cyclic phosphorylation and non-cyclic phosphorylation. Non-cyclic phosphorylation takes place in the presence of sunlight. So, non-cyclic phosphorylation can be considered as the light reaction. The energy required for this purpose is obtained from the sunlight. Light energy is trapped by the accessory molecules or antenna complex and then supplied to the reaction center, that is the chlorophyll A. Here, the energy is utilized to break the water molecule into the H plus ions and to the oxygen gas. In cyclic phosphorylation, photosystem 1 involves the accessory molecules gain energy from the sunlight and absorb the 700 nm light and supply this energy to the chlorophyll A, and the electrons are released from the chlorophyll A, and these released electrons are absorbed by the primary electron acceptor, and these electrons through different organic molecules again reach the chlorophyll A. So that's why it is known as the cyclic phosphorylation. And during this electron transfer, ADP is converted into the ATP. ADP is converted into ATP. And the electrons came back to the photosystem 1. So that's why it is known as the cyclic phosphorylation. In non-cyclic phosphorylation, both the photosystems 1 and 2 involve. Photosystem 2 absorbs the energy of the wavelength 680 nm and the photosystem 1 absorbs the light of the wavelength 700 nm. The energy absorbed by the photosystem 2 is utilized to break the water molecule into the H plus ions and oxygen gas. The electrons excited by the photosystem 2 are released and are absorbed by the primary electron acceptor. These electrons are transferred to the photosystem 1 via many stages. In these stages, electron transfer molecules like quinone, plastocyanin, and cytochrome, etc. molecules involve. The electrons released from the photosystem 1 are utilized to reduce the NADP to the NADPH. And in this conversion, H plus ions released from the water are also utilized. Now we go for the differences between the cyclic phosphorylation and non-cyclic phosphorylation. In cyclic phosphorylation, only photosystem 1 involves, whereas in the non-cyclic phosphorylation, photosystem 2 and 1 both involve. In the cyclic phosphorylation, oxygen gas is not released. In non-cyclic phosphorylation, oxygen gas is released. In cyclic process, only ATP is formed, whereas in non-cyclic process, ATP as well as NADPH H plus ions are formed. Here, in cyclic process, water is not broken. In non-cyclic process, water is broken. The second stage in the photosynthesis is the carbon dioxide fixation. This happens in the Kelvin cycle. In the Kelvin cycle, three steps are there. First one is the carboxylation, second one is the reduction, and the third one is the regeneration. Here in the carboxylation, cyclic process, the electrons they receive from the photosystem 1 return back and reach PS1 back. But in the non-cyclic process, the electrons they receive from the photosystem 2 do not reach back again the photosystem 2. Second step in the photosynthesis is the fixation of the carbon dioxide gas. Here, this is also known as the dark reaction or the Kelvin cycle. Here, in this one, starting substance is the ribulose 1,5 biphosphate. It contains 5 carbon atoms in each molecule. Here, such 3 molecules combine with the 3 molecules of the carbon dioxide gas. So, as a result, they form 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde. Here, 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde contains 3 carbon atoms in the each molecule. Such 6 molecules are formed. So as a result, the total number of the carbon atoms becomes 18. Immediately, this 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde breaks into the 1,3 biphosphoglyceraldehyde. This also contains 3 carbon atoms in each molecule. Then this 1,3 biphosphoglyceraldehyde breaks into the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Here also each molecule contains 3 carbon atoms. So in all the 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde, 1,3 biphosphoglyceraldehyde and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, the total number of the carbon atoms is 18. Among these 6 glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate molecules, 5 again utilized to convert into the ribulose 1,5 biphosphate, and only one molecule is converted into the triose phosphate. Such 2 triose phosphate molecules combine to give the glucose molecule.